Welcome to this place of peace. May we find some moments of quiet contemplation here. Welcome to this place of celebration. May our hearts soar with gratitude for the gift of life. Welcome to this place of sacred love. May we gently hold all that is broken here. Welcome to this place of inquiry. Here, may we be challenged to open our minds and hearts. Coming to this place of community, may we, together, draw the circle of love and justice ever wider. Welcome to this sacred place. Come, let us worship, celebrate, grieve, and love together. These words from Kathy Ryan Starr welcome all who have gathered this morning for our Sunday service. Welcome to those who have gathered in person at Essex Church, to all those who are joining us via Zoom, and anyone tuning in at a later date via YouTube or listening to the podcast stream. For anyone who doesn't know me, my name is Liz Tuckwell and I'm chair of the congregation. Our service today will be led by members of the congregation, and it's titled Free Gifts. In this season, where so much emphasis is placed on spending money and exchanging material gifts, we are going to back away from the rampant consumerism and think about gifts in a different way. By all the gifts that we give each other that don't cost any money at all, the kind word, the time, attention, or presence we can offer to each other, or perhaps low-cost or handmade items which are nevertheless very thoughtfully given or of great symbolic and sentimental value. This morning, David, Charlotte, Roy, Jasmine, and me will be sharing our personal reflections. Let's light our chalice flame now, as we do each week. It's a moment for us to stop and take a breath, settle ourselves down, put aside any preoccupations we came in carrying. This simple ritual connects us in solidarity with Unitarians and Unitarian Universalists the world over, and reminds us of the proud and historic progressive religious tradition of which this gathering is part. We light this chalice to kindle a flame of warmth, as a reminder of the connection that draws us into a community that opens us up, in gratitude for the breath in our lungs and the love in our hearts, and for the gift of this day, alive. And as it is the third Sunday in Advent, let us also light our third Advent calendar. The third one is pink, and is traditionally lit in the name of joy. Our first hymn on the hymn sheet in your order of service, Life's Great Gifts. For those on Zoom, the words will be up on screen. Please feel free to sit or stand as you prefer.
We are So let's take those joys and concerns into an extended time of prayer. This prayer that you'll hear now is based on some words by Martha Flanagan. You might want to adjust your position in your seats for comfort, close your eyes or soften your gaze. There might be a posture that helps you feel more prayerful, whatever works for you. Do what you need to get into the right state of body and mind for us to pray together, to be fully present here and now in this sacred time and space with ourselves and with each other, and that which is both within and beyond us. Spirit of life, God of all love, in whom we live and move and have our being, we turn our full attention to you, the light within and without, as we tune into the depths of this life and the greater wisdom to which and through which we are all intimately connected. Be with us now as we allow ourselves to drop into the silence and stillness at the very center of our being. Spirit of life, God of all love, fill us this day with your warmth, your power, your strength. Help us to see our lives with a freshness born of the Spirit. Lift up the blessings, the loved ones, the ones we treasure for simply being themselves, the ones we laugh with, the ones who teach us to trust ourselves. Hold close the ones who are ill this day, those who feel the discouragement of the body. Stand by those who know their time is limited. Fill them and us with courage, with peace. Release us from our burdens. We bring the memories of the past, times when we fell short, times when we were hurt. We have fears, worries of what will be and how we will make do. We get carried away with small concerns, the daily issues that press upon us. Help us to let go. Free us from those inner bonds which hold us back. We look at ourselves, the advantages we have been given, the opportunities we have seized along the way. Fill us with a sense of gratitude for the gifts that are ours, knowledge, skill, capacity, and hard-won insight. Nudge us to give back, to reach out, sharing our talents, our riches, and ourselves with those who are discouraged, disheartened, or simply unaware, with the young, the old, the disadvantaged, and dispossessed. Grab our attention. Seize us with the brightness of the day, with the miracle of life itself, that we might be filled with new passion, new resolve, heeding your quiet yet insistent call. And in a few minutes of quietness now, let us seek a higher perspective, a longer view, starting right where we are. Let us shift our awareness ever outward in circles of concern. Let us bring to mind those we know to be struggling this day, perhaps including ourselves, those friends and family we hold dearest, our neighbours in community, others around the globe we may only have heard about on the news. And let us take time to send prayers of loving kindness to all who suffer. Let us look back over the last week, taking time to notice what was good, to count our blessings, all the ways in which others helped or encouraged us, inspired or delighted us, all the goodness and beauty we have known even in the midst of struggle. And let us take time to give prayers of thanks for all we have been given. Spirit of life, God of all love, as this time of prayer comes to a close, we offer up our joys and concerns, our hopes and fears, our beauty and our brokenness, and we call on you for insight, healing, and renewal. As we look forward now to the coming week, help us to live well each day and be our best selves, using our unique gifts in the service of love, justice, and peace. Amen.
The Long Walk by David S. Blanchard. The best story I ever heard about gift giving has nothing to do with Christmas, but everything to do with Christmas. It's about a young boy in an African country who wanted to give a gift to his teacher, who was going home to England. The child had no money and his options were few. The day before the teacher was due to leave, the child brought her a huge seashell. The teacher asked the boy where he could have found such a shell. He told her there was only one spot where such extraordinary shells could be found. And when he named the place, a certain bay, many miles away, the teacher was speechless. Why, it's beautiful, it's wonderful, but you shouldn't have gone all that way to get a gift for me. His eyes brightening, the boy answered, "The long walk is part of the gift." The long walk is part of the gift. Most of the meaningful gifts we give to each other require some version of that long walk. The long walk we sign on for with our children, who need our patience, our wisdom, our honesty, and our trust, more than we might first have imagined when their lives began. The long walk we share with our spouses, which takes us through uncharted, unexpected territories of sickness and health, richer and poorer, better and worse. The long walk we take with our friends when they're grieving the loss of someone they love, when they are ill, when they're discouraged. The long walk of feeling a sense of unity with those whom prosperity has left behind. The long walk of reconciliation with all that separates us from a deep sense of life's great purpose and meaning. The long walk is part of the gift. When Christmas has been tidied away and packed up for another year, the gifts acknowledged, many already forgotten, then the new year stretches out before us. What will get us through those months, with all that they may hold, will not be the things in the boxes. We must look to the hands of those who bought and wrapped and carried those gifts. With their gifts, they are telling us something too wonderful, perhaps too embarrassing for words. They are telling us that, for us, they will take the long walk. So when you open the box and find the long underwear, the fruit cake, the pot holder, or the seashell from a distant ocean, remember that it's not just the thought that counts. Remember too, the long walk is part of the gift. There's always a glitch somewhere, isn't there? Ah, It's another hymn. We're to sing hymn 298 in the Grey Book, Wake Now My Senses. That's a hint, isn't it?
When Jane asks us to write something about times when someone has given you a significant gift that didn't involve spending money on a thing, at first I couldn't think of anything. A gift that was both free and significant? My mind went blank. I was sure there had been times, but I just couldn't think of any. I reread Jane's email. I thought some more about it. First, one memory of a significant gift came to me, and then another. I'd started by thinking I hadn't really had any free significant gifts, and then realised that I had several. I can only hope that I was appropriately grateful at the time. I certainly am grateful now that I look back. The particularly significant gift that I want to talk about was when I was learning to drive. I only started to learn to drive when I was 30, and it took me quite a while to get the hang of it. I ended up taking 6 driving tests before I passed. And one of the main reasons was that I was so nervous, and each failure made me more worried about the next time. Another reason was that my first driving instructor wasn't very good at his job, but that's another story. I felt that everybody else in the world had passed the first time, and I started to think that I would never pass my driving test, and perhaps should just give up. My manager at the time, Ros, was very encouraging and supportive. She reassured me that it didn't matter how long I took to pass, the important thing was passing. that once I had passed, it didn't matter how long it had taken. It was a valuable lesson to learn. After I learned, I started using my car for work. Occasionally, I'd give Ros a lift. I was anxious about having someone else in the car, worried about being criticised about how I was driving. But Ros showed she trusted me by not offering advice or making comments. I now realise how much self-control that took. Her trust gave me much more confidence in my driving. It was a gift of encouragement and support that I've never forgotten.
Take your time. Good morning. A few months ago, Patricia and I were visiting a friend who now lives in Cambridge. Just as we were leaving, she had said to me, "I've got something I should have given you before." Then she put this tiny picture in my hand. It is probably too small for most of you to see what it is, but it is a painting of a small boat on a salt marsh. There are words written around the edge of the canvas frame. Now, some of my friends here will know I have been obsessed with small boats for many decades. I have sailed them, rowed them, motored them, and above all, enjoyed them. I have also loved photographing dead boats. There is something about the way they rot and fall to pieces that has a beauty all of its own. The picture was painted by our friend Rosemary's husband, who died over 2 years ago. Rosemary and Tony were both talented artists. We all four were friends, and the friendships led to complications which could easily have brought it all down. But the friendship survived and grew, and my last memory of Tony before he died was being in their little house in Cambridge, trying to fix a leak in the feeding tube that was keeping him alive. So moved was I by this gesture of friendship from beyond the grave that few days pass when I don't pick up the tiny, beautiful picture from where it lives on a windowsill near my study and read around the edge, soaked by each creeping tide, it creaked, it croaked, someone died. Boats can take a long time to die, and when they finally collapse, as the nails that hold them together rust away and the wood rots, they frequently leave an impression in the mud berth that had been their final resting place. Many artists like to paint small boats. An East Anglian artist, James Dodd, devoted a whole beautiful book to such pictures. It is called The Blue Boat. I have a copy that was another unexpected friend from another friend, another unexpected present from another friend, but that's a different story. The tapered curves of their ribs, the way the planks sit together, shapes that seem to echo the graceful contours of the sea itself. But the boat in Tony's picture is not one of these beauties. It is a chunky little thing, maybe homemade, and already it has begun to fall apart. Unlike me, Tony was not a lover of boats. I will never know why he painted this picture that has become so important to me. Was it a real boat? If so, on which lonely marsh did it finally collapse and die? Or was it painted from Tony's imagination? Did he paint it for me? I will never know, and I suppose it doesn't matter. I'll leave this for anyone who would like to look at it. I'll put it at the back.
We're moving into a time of meditation now. To take us into stillness, I'm going to share a poem on gratitude for life's gifts by James Cruz. This poem is printed on an insert in your orders of service if you'd like to follow along. This will then take us into a few minutes of shared silence, which will end with the sound of a bell. Then we'll hear music for meditation. So let's do what we need to do to get comfortable, settled. Maybe adjust your position. Put your feet flat on the floor to ground yourself. You might like to close your eyes. As we always say, the words are just an offering. Feel free to use this time to meditate in your own way. Winter Morning by James Cruz. When I can no longer say thank you for this new day and the waking into it, for the cold scrape of the kitchen chair and the ticking of the space heater glowing orange as it warms the floor near my feet. I know it's because I've been fooled again by the selfish, unruly man who lives in me and believes he deserves only safety and comfort. But if I pause as I do now and watch the street lights outside flashing off one by one, like old men blinking their cloudy eyes, if I listen to my tired neighbours slamming car doors hard against the morning and see the steaming coffee in their mugs, kissing chapped lips as they sip and exhale each of their worries white into the icy air around their faces, then I can remember this one life is a gift each of us was handed and told to open. Untie the bow, tear off the paper, look inside and you'll be grateful for whatever you find, even if it's only the scent of a tangerine that lingers on the fingers long after you've finished peeling it.
Christmas 2017, I made a small book for my mom with at least a dozen reasons why I loved her and she was a great mom. I felt a bit silly doing that as a 25-year-old. The artistic value was close to zero, as I'm not very good with my hands. She said thank you, but I felt like she was underwhelmed by the present. She kept it with other souvenirs on display though, so she must have liked it well enough. This summer, when I finally looked through her computer, I saw that she'd taken pictures of every page in the book and kept them. I guess she liked it. I don't remember exactly what I wrote, but I have the pictures still. My dad is a particularly hard man to shop for. He has everything he wants and doesn't want any more stuff. So for his birthday last year, I took him to a viewing of Amadeus with a live orchestra performance. I'd asked him if he wanted to go 6 months before as a birthday present. He said yes, but didn't seem very enthusiastic about it. When I forwarded him the email with the booking confirmation, he managed to lose it. It was lucky that he hadn't planned anything for that evening, because he'd completely forgotten when I reminded him 2 months before the concert. Anyway, we ended up going. It was taking place on a Friday evening in Paris. He picked me up from school, and we joked about what a throwback that was. We had a lovely dinner and an amazing time. So this year, for my birthday, we're going to see Pirates of the Caribbean with a live orchestra. I tried to convince him to see Fellowship of the Ring, but that was a step too far. As a teacher, it's become more common to receive gifts at the end of the school year or for Christmas. Every year, I try to impress on my students that I don't care about receiving chocolate. I can buy it myself, I know my tastes better, and once I've eaten it, I barely remember it was gifted to me. Instead, I prefer receiving drawings and notes from my students. While I have received chocolates, candles, and even perfume last year, Last year, I received drawings and notes from most of my students. They are in folders, and I love thinking of them and how much fun we had learning together. My nieces are still too small to make art, but my godson and his sister make me drawings regularly. I'm always delighted to put their masterpieces up on the fridge. I think of them every time I see their art. All of these gifts from me or for me are about showing people I appreciate them or that they appreciate me. It's about building connections and memories.
Morning, everyone. When I was young, I was a very keen Boy Scout. Any former Scout or Girl Guide among you will know that one of the things that we did as a member of those groups was to try to acquire badges, which we would then proudly sew onto our sleeve of our uniform, they were to show proficiency in various skills, whether it be tying knots, cooking, identifying trees and plants, reading maps, or in this case, learning about the stars. Yes, it was for my astronomer's badge, which that I met this gentleman, a man named Arthur Thomas. He was the teacher and the examiner for this badge, this coveted badge. I don't think I have ever encountered anyone quite like Arthur, and he is the gift that I want to tell you all about. One clear evening in the spring of 1974, I arrived at his house, and we took from its box and set up an enormous brass telescope. Pretty soon I was gazing at the moon through the viewfinder. The experience was breathtaking. Instead of the smooth disk seen from Earth, I witnessed a three-dimensional, heavily pockmarked world where the craters and mountain ranges appeared incredibly sharp and close. It was a truly memorable moment. When I left later that evening, he told me I was welcome to visit him anytime. So I did. Further visits, as well as continually sparking a sense of wonder about the vastness of space, also resulted in discovering further wonders in his house. Antimacassars on the armchairs, and for the younger members of the audience, if you don't know what an antimacassar is, you can see me afterwards about that. antimacassars, ceramic electrical plugs and sockets. He kept his telephone, an antique Bakelite model, in a walk-in closet under the stairs. A little bell would ring in the hall if a call was coming in. Oh, and he had a pianola in the drawing room. Sorry about that, George, but I didn't learn to play the piano, but he had a pianola, which he taught me to play. I never saw Arthur dressed in anything but a smart jacket and tie. I later discovered that he didn't wear a belt but buttons and braces, and shirts with separate collars. When I visited, we generally had high tea replete with a full Royal Albert tea set and fish paste sandwiches. Quite a change from the tea time arrangements of a working class lad like me. An Edwardian through and through, he had what I would characterize as a Christian socialist outlook. He was deeply concerned with improving the lot of the most vulnerable and disadvantaged in society. He championed the role of education and fairness in providing all people with the essential tools and opportunity to determine their own future. I think he would like you lot. I visited Arthur nearly every week or later when I left home, whenever I could. The years passed. In the summer, we would sit in deck chairs in his big back garden. In the winter, sit in his kitchen roasting chestnuts on his open fire. I took other friends too, who were always welcome with the same open-hearted friendliness and courtesy. And the stories, countless tales about growing up in Hastings. He was born there in 1879, and his father, and before him his grandfather, had been pioneer Victorian photographers in the town. He still had all their equipment and examples of their work. It was fascinating. On top of his other myriad skills, he was a master carpenter. He had a fully equipped workshop in the garage with beautiful hand-turned tools that would be in a museum now. He'd been a ship's carpenter on a battleship, having served in the Navy in the First World War. This was actually a very important role because ships in those days were made of iron and wood. He spoke Spanish, having visited Spain every summer for his holidays leading up to the Spanish Civil War. He was a keen swimmer and taught all the local youths the then newfangled Australian crawl. Arthur never married, but had courted at least one lady friend whom he met in Spain in those years. Who knows? Perhaps if General Franco had not intervened, his life may have taken a different direction. Professionally, he'd been a school teacher, or a schoolmaster, as he would have put it. He and his whole class were evacuated during World War II, and to his utter delight, it was Worthing, not far around the coast from his beloved Hastings. One of his other passions was archaeology, especially that of the Middle Ages, and particularly that of Sussex. He was a founder member of the Sussex Archaeological Society, whose headquarters, I have recently discovered, is situated in Lewes, where my daughter Amanda lives and I often visit. The thing is, he never sought to teach me anything in the form of a lesson. He was just generally curious about my life, about my day. He treated my teenage struggles with the same weight and respect he gave to world events. As a direct result of the countless hours of his quiet, generous wisdom, I learned so much about ancient history and social history too. Plus, I developed perspective, critical thinking, patience. Arthur passed away quietly in his sleep not long after his 102nd birthday. As the years have passed, I've come to realize more and more the profound and lasting influence he had on me. The seeds of learning he planted, the goodness he instilled in my young mind. What a teacher to guide the fledgling human spirit. Arthur was a gentleman in the purest meaning of that term. A gentleman was he. Thank you.
When I think about gifts, the most obvious thing to me is time. I've been fortunate many times in my life to have been given time by others. When bereaved, I've had friends come and sit with me, do the washing up, come with me to a funeral. And the reason that I think this is special is that it requires someone to be able to bear discomfort and not run away. And I've not just been gifted time in these moments, but also given time to move my way through confusion and challenge and questionable decisions. Time to work things out on my own, time to try things out. How should I navigate a relationship, a new job? How should I deal with loss or disappointment? How should I pick myself up when all seems lost? I recognize now, having witnessed others do the same, that it takes a certain kind of grace to be alongside someone while they work something out. It would be all too easy to try to hurry them up, to try and give them the answers, to try and rush them out of the sloshy mess and back onto dry land. It's perhaps a particularly hard thing to do when you think that mess could have been avoided, if they just heeded your warnings, if they just went about things more rationally, with more self-awareness, etc. I've made so many poor choices, rushing in, idealistic, desperate, or impulsive. I'm sure it's been difficult to watch from the outside, frustrating even. But I was lucky to have people be patient and kind, steady alongside in the mess, grief, and confusion, encouraging when I was full of hope, sympathetic when things didn't turn out well. And that has meant more to me than any material gift, because if I imagined that the consequence of making mistakes or of being vulnerable was to end up alone and with no one, then life really would be impossible to bear. Time for one last hymn now. And in fact, it's a Christmas carol, number 228 in your grey books. Think of it as a warm-up for our carol service next week, one in Royal David City, hymn 228.
Thanks to David, Charlotte, Roy and Jasmine for their reflections. Thanks to Brian and Jasmine for helping to lead the service. Thanks to Jane for hosting and Charlotte for co-hosting. Thanks to Georgia and George for lovely music and Benji for supporting our singing. Thanks to John for greeting and Pat and Anna for making coffee. If you are in person, do stay for cake. Jane has made 2 cakes today, a pink lemonade cake and a plum, hazelnut and chocolate cake. And also, we do have tangerines at the front here. Please do take a tangerine as a gift from us. Once you've had your cake, you can come back in here for yoga with Hannah at 12:30. But it's not obligatory. Tonight and Friday at 7 p.m, we've got our Heart and Soul online contemplative spiritual gathering. This week it's on angels. Email Jane if you want to join. This coming Wednesday, 17th, we have a midwinter labyrinth mini retreat evening here in person with Jane and Sarah. Please drop Jane an email to let her know if you plan to come. It'll be a cosy evening of sharing and reflection, and we will make sure we have some treats and snacks to share. At the end of the month, the Better World Book Club is talking about Listen, How to Find the Words for Tender Conversations by Catherine Mannix. I think we have 1 copy left to loan out. Next Sunday, we've got our big carol service. Let me know what you're planning to bring for the Bring and Share lunch afterwards. And we also have our candlelit tea time service on Christmas Eve featuring a brass quintet. We'll have our usual New Year's mini retreat. You can come in person on Sunday the 28th of December or online on New Year's Day, or both if you like. Sign up with Jane for these events. Details of all our various activities are printed on the back of the order of service for you to take away, and they're also in the Friday email. The congregation very much has a life beyond Sunday mornings. We encourage you to keep in touch, to look out for each other, and do what you can to nurture supportive connections. Now it's just time for our closing words and closing music. And now we take our leave. Before we gather here again, may each of us bring happiness into another's life. May each be surprised by the gifts that surround us. May each of us be enlivened by constant curiosity. And may we remain together in spirit till the hour we meet again. Amen.